So we're going to talk a bit about your vocals and over the years and, and singing style and stuff like that for this feature. At what age did you realize that you actually had a singing voice good enough to make a profession out of it?
Well, everybody in my family sang. It was very natural. I grew up in a family where the arts and music were very, very important, whether it was going to museums or listening to music. And everybody in my family sang quite well. So it was very, very natural and just an everyday occurrence for everybody to be singing. And I had a fairly good grasp of not only melody but harmony, and it was something that I found a lot of joy in, and also something that I enjoyed working at. So from quite early on, music was always something that I wanted to follow.
Yeah. And of course you have a very unique voice, but I know that you are influenced by some guys who doesn't sound like you at all. What did you? Who was your influence, and in what way did they influence you? What impact did they have on your singing voice?
Well, it changed over the years, but certainly, whether it was great Motown, whether it was people like David Ruffin, or Sam Cooke, or Rod Stewart, or Steve Marriott, or Robert Plant, the people who had melody and soul were the people that I liked and listened to the most. I'm just a combination of all the people who inspired me, and that doesn't mean, that's the key word is inspired. Inspiration doesn't mean duplication. It doesn't mean copying. It means giving you a format, giving you something to aspire to. So to be influenced doesn't mean that you imitate. It means that you get energy, you get excitement from certain people. And that's really what it came down to, was not trying to sound like anybody as much as trying to tap into the emotion and the excitement that certain singers created.
And another thing that's unique with Kiss vocally is that even though you were a rock and roll band, a heavy metal band, is that you used a lot of harmonies. Mm-hmm. So tell me a bit about that. How did you and Gene work out all those harmonies in the early years?
My background and my roots are in classic format rock and roll. The writers of the late 50s and 60s, Carole King and Jerry Goffin, Doc Pomus, Lieber and Stoller, Barry Mann and Cynthia Weil, people who wrote real songs, which led to the Beatles, who wrote real songs with a real format and a real structure. So although we were playing and have played heavy music, to me that's no excuse for bad songs. And songs need melody, they need a hook, and a lot of them need harmony. So perhaps one of the things that set us apart from other bands, and always has, is our regard for melody, structure, and harmony. I always say, if you can't play a song on a guitar, one guitar, if you can't play a song on a piano and have people think it's great, it's not a great song. If you have to dress it up with a band and play it at the loudest volume and add all kinds of effects, it's not a great song. A great song lives or dies on one instrument. So for us I think that's the heart and soul of us. You listen to any classic Kiss, and they're real songs. If you put on MTV Unplugged, those are real songs. Played on acoustic guitars, they're real songs. They're not jams with somebody doing pseudo opera on top, you know. So, although the type of music may have been different, we're very much based in the Beatles, who were very much based in what came before them. Mm-hmm. So we're not the Beatles. But our roots and our foundation are certain structures and certain rules, if you will, that make for great writing.
And also Rock and Roll, where you have See You in Your Dreams. When I was a kid, I thought it was female backup singers, but now I understand it's actually you. Was that intention to sound like female?
I can't say on a song like Love Gun that was just what was called for, or Creatures of the Night, or Danger, or Tomorrow and Tonight. I loved the Blackberries, who sang backup for Humble Pie. I liked those kind of backgrounds, and certainly in the early days of the band, the idea of having women singing on our records was not something we would do. But once again, the appropriate harmonies were in that range, in that vocal range. So Gene and I had no trouble singing like that. So it wasn't let's sing like women. It was like let's sing what's needed.
Yeah. So last thing, because Gene is also on this list, he's a bit further down than you. But if you could talk a bit about, in your opinion, what makes Gene a great singer, and what's your favorite vocal performance of Gene's?
Being a great singer doesn't have to do with, I believe, being a great singer or being a great guitar player has more to do with being readily identifiable than your technique. When people hear you and immediately know it's you, that makes you a great singer. Yes, you can take that steps further and say vocal range, accuracy, pitch, all those things, yes, can play a part in it. But sometimes a personality is what makes a vocal great or identifiable, a character. And Gene's is a character voice, more than perhaps a voice that blows you away with notes or scales or anything like that. But he knows how to put a song across with a personality that's very strong. Mm-hmm. So I think that's his strength.
Cool. Well, actually, I don't know if you remember, but I was the guy who translated your book to the Swedish market.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
Back to, there's vocals on Revenge that are terrific. Some of my favorite vocals are on that album.
Yeah. And Destroyer, so I guess Bob hard.
Well, I think I was at a point where I fully realized what I wanted to do and what I didn't want to do. So on Revenge, the vocal melodies and the execution was a great combination of the earliest and then the later period. It wasn't oversung, and it was put across without being overly gymnastic. So I would say as far as vocals go, some of the best ones for me and representational of what I want to do are the ones on Revenge.